Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rainboots.com, and today I'm going to be sharing this quick little devil gnome. I think he's cute. If you'd like to make him boop, stick around. As always, please give this video a like so I know you're here. So this guy was made in less than 20 minutes. I asked in the Facebook group if you thought it was creepy or cute and if I should share him. The Facebook group, join us over there. It's really fun, and you guys asked me to share, so I'm sharing. So I'm using the stout gnome pattern. I will put the link down below, but you need 2 pieces for the hat and 1 for the body as cut per that pattern. It's a luxe fleece. It's beautiful, it's bright, and it's so soft. I'm going to be using a scrap of that for the tail, and then I'm also going to be using some felt. So also down below is going to be the free Highland cow horn pattern. I am using this for the devil horn, and I'm just going to be cutting it out of the felt that I have here. So you can use sparkly or plain black stiff felt, and you need some faux fur. I have this tinsel fur. It's really inexpensive, but it's fun, so I'm going to use that. If you want a wired tail, we need some wire. So as I mentioned, this Highland cow pattern, it's for horns, and it is down below. I'm just going to put it onto the fleece and trace it with some chalk, and then I'm going to flip the other side so that I have one in the opposite direction. This only matters if you're using 2 pieces of fabric or felt that is different on the front than it is on the back. Okay, so I'd like to say something about these horns. They're super free, but hold on. Don't worry if you don't want to make a devil and you think it's creepy or something like that. I would like to hear from you because I never want to offend anybody or anything like that. So let me know down in the comments if this is okay for you. But be respectful though, please, because we're a nice community. Okay, so anyway, I'm just going to cut these out, trying to get them even. You'll see me putting them together. So the other thing I wanted to mention, use this stout pattern if you want to create a little dog, a little cat, a little raccoon, a little fox, and here's the reason why. This pattern was built to be chunky and so kawaii, cute kind of style. So if you want to make an animal, this is a fun pattern to use. I've shared it already how to make a bunny. I've shared it how to make a gnome, which is without any accessories. You can make it with or without arms. This is a really fun pattern. So I just wanted to mention that in case you don't want to make a devil, you can still use this same tutorial, same pattern, and just change up the ears, make a little triangle for the kitty cat, make some floppy ears for a big puppy dog or something. You could even make the Max dog from the Grinch. Okay, so now we're going to go to the body, which per the pattern is put right sides together. Now I'm just going to use a hot glue gun to close this up. For those of you who are sewing, the instructions are both shared in videos on this Stout Gnome playlist. Every one of my patterns has its own playlist, so you can see all the ways that I'm inspiring you to use it. But if you're sewing, this will take you 30 seconds to sew. If you're gluing, you are going to glue up the long and the bottom edges, and then you're going to set it aside because we want to make sure that glue is fully intact before we move on. Okay, so now I'm just going to set this aside and move over to the hat. So again, the pattern calls to put these 2 pieces right side together. I'm going to add a bit of a brim. I'm working on the wrong side of the fabric, so I'm going to flip up this brim as is. So I'm going to do that on both sides. And if you don't want to add a brim, or you're working with fleece that is not luxe and doesn't shed, you don't have to make a brim. You can just add a trim or leave it, maybe you want to cut with pinking shears. You can do that too. You just do you. All right, so once the brim is set up, I'm going to show you how to build this with hot glue. I've had a lot of requests for hot glue gnomes so people don't have to get out their sewing machine. So if you're using a sewing machine, you're going to put these inside, right? You're going to point them between the 2 pieces of fabric. You're going to point them in. Then when you flip them out, they're going to pop out. If you are gluing, you just glue up the bottom couple of inches on each side, the left and the right side of the hat, okay? And you're also going to glue the portion in the middle of the top that's flat. Okay, I'll show you in just a second. Here you go. Right through here. And what that's going to do is leave 2 open sections for our horns to be attached in just a second. After this all dries, right? We want to make sure it's dry before we move on. So again, we have those open sections. So just put this all to the side and move back to the body. So this is the body. You're going to open it out and you're going to make sure the top pieces are aligned. So up here, and the seam is facing you. The bottom should be creating a diamond shape when you flip up one corner. Isn't that easy? Now we're going to glue down this corner. For those of you who sew, yes, the pattern calls out a nice simple box pleat bottom. Isn't that cool? I love this pattern just because it's so simple. All right, so we're going to take that top corner and fold it in on both of these edges. I will say the parts that I edited out were the hot glue drying. Full tutorial took me 17 minutes and 21 seconds to make, and that was answering the door in between. But I'm going to edit out all these hot glue weights, okay? So when you have everything dry, you can turn it right side out, and it creates a nice little sturdy base for us. I'm going to add at least 1.5 cups of poly pellets. You can add weight of your choosing. Try not to use food products if you're selling. And if you don't have a funnel, you can just dump it in. It's a really wide mouth. Use polyfill or the inside of a pillow or just scraps that I had cut off from cutting the pattern. Throw that all inside. Make sure you're tucking it down at the bottom too so it looks nice and full. Squish it in your hands and fill it. You're going to stay about 1 inch away from the top if you're sewing this closed per the pattern. If you're tying it, you're going to need a little bit more leeway. So just FYI, you can tie it. Again, if you sell, I do recommend you doing the hand sewing running stitch all along the top. It is a secure join. And also you get more of height on body if you do the sewing versus this tying, just because you don't want anything to come undone. So moving back to the hat, take out the rest of the pins and you're going to turn it right sides out. So you'll see these 2 little holes, see, right here on the on the edges, and that's where we're going to pop in our horns. If you are doing a stuffed horn with like 2 pieces of fleece, you do it the same way. You'll just glue up the horn first, and then you'll add the horn to the hat. And to do so, you're just going to add some glue, tuck in the edge if you have a fraying fabric so it doesn't fray, and then repeat it with the back. Again, I'm editing out the portions that I had to hold it until the hot glue dried. But again, this only took me 17 minutes. Do make sure you check all your seams on the sides and make sure your hat is fully closed up before slipping it on. It's so much fun because now it's time for the beard, my favorite part. So I'm going to really technically measure that by holding it up, and then I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to cut only the faux fur fabric backing. It will not cut through the actual fur, and this makes it look really nice and lush. And then I got one little piece here. There we go. And then you just pull it apart and you have no cut off pieces. Boop. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you that if the cheaper fur you use, you're going to have to brush it and just get all the extra pieces. The pieces with tinsel are not very nice fur, so they may come out as well. Just pull it all out. I'm going to glue it down with the hot glue gun along the top edges, or the top edge, the sides, and even the bottom. If you want, you can hand sew this to the body. Bless your heart, I'm not going to do that. I don't know how long that takes because I don't do that. So I have this wonky little piece of fur. I'm going to cut that off. It's about 2 inches wide by about 1 inch tall. And the reason is because I just don't want it hanging off this thing. I'm going to cut it in half and then turn it and cut it in half long ways so that I have 2 pieces of fur. I'm going to turn them upside down and put them on both the front and the back. You don't have to do this. The little horn join looks really good when you tuck under the fleece, so you're not hiding anything. I just thought it would be really fun. If you don't like it, it's okay. Let me know down in the comments if you think this is just a little over the top, Sarah. Okay, so once once those are glued down, if you want to trim the fur, go vertically into the fur. Don't cut it horizontally across or it looks kind of chunky. I did a little trimming. So I'm going to clean that up. And now we're going to move on to our nose. This is a 1 inch wood bead, meaning it has the holes. So I'm going to pop a little glue right at the very top of this beard. Oops, dropped it. But you see how the bottom of the bead is pointing into the fur and the top is pointing out? Cover that hole with the top brim of the hat and you have hidden him. Isn't that nice? I got that email question the other day. Thought I'd share it with a bead. So I just cut a piece of wire, turned down one end, and then cut a piece of the same matching felt for the horns into a somewhat triangle shape. And then I'm just going to glue the end right in the middle here and hold it until it dries. Again, sorry, I have to edit that out. It's like watching paint dry, but I just squeeze it in between and hold it until it's dry. And then I can cut it and shape it into a matching triangle. I straightened out the little Dollar Tree floral wire and then put it onto a rectangle. Now this can be as long as short as you want. You're just going to glue it around the wire. That's it. And so for those of you who want to use this to make like a dog or a cat, if you have a really long tail, it'd be super cute to like loop it for a cat or something. But it's really fun because the stiffer the wire you use, you can bounce it like a little dog's bouncing tail. So you can just poke this into the body on the side, or you can do the back. I don't know why I didn't glue all that up, but I just glued everything up, poked it in through the back, and I secured it all around the fabric, joined it down here, and then I just glued the hat down all the way around. And I gave him a mustache, and he was done. What do you think? Let me know. As always, the pattern links will be down below and pinned in the first comment. I would love to hear if you think this is okay to share. Is it creepy? Is it cute? Let me know. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun. Look at him.